Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome to another video regarding our trip to Qatar and what we found out. In this episode, we want to talk about the cost of living, the cost of food. We're going to talk a little bit about the cost of appliances and some recreational activities. One of the most important things that you're going to deal with when moving to another country is going to be, of course, the cost of living. And one of the biggest expenses is going to be how much you pay for your rent. So we asked to look at the cheapest areas, just because Qatar rent is expensive. Outside of Doha, there's a place called Wakra. And Wakra is like a newer development. It's less people there. And it's actually the cheapest place that you can find that we know of and that the brother knew of. So a 1-bedroom in Wakra will cost you $800 a month. A 2-bedroom will cost you about $1,125. A 3-bedroom will cost you about $1,300. And it's not much of a difference in price between a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. And a villa in this compound, it costs about $1,925. Now, I don't personally think I could live in these apartments. And I wasn't too. I didn't like maybe if it was painted or something.
I think it's the fact that we landed in Doha and we expected a lot. So when we looked at the apartment, even though, like, if somebody looks at it coming from most other countries, they would say that this is decent, this is good, if not great. You just because the compound, if you look at it, it was a modest. By the way, it was nice because you had the masjid, you had the of course the the soccer, like a little soccer. Yeah. So you had everything in that compound.
Yeah, but the apartment didn't look that. It wasn't that nice.
But I'm saying the compound itself wasn't real high end like that. It wasn't glassed out and all that.
Right.
So when you go in the apartment, they had the sunlight in your joint. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. That was good, in my opinion. That was good for a furnished place because you got to realize they had the basic, just the small, and they said you could switch it out. You could always take something and then you replace it with something you want. But they had the little small refrigerator. They had the little stove.
What's it trying to call? Where
But the quality itself.
What's the thing that you put the plates on and all that? Like
the countertop,
like the dining room set, and they got
it was all matching.
It was like hanging off too big for the wall. You know what I mean? So it was hanging off the wall.
I mean, that's that small stuff. That don't even matter like that. That in my opinion, I've seen a whole lot worse. Like horrible
for that price.
Of course, for the price.
That's what I mean.
The price, but no. But wait. Actually, there's something to it though. Most of that stuff in there was brand new. So that's actually, of course, the arrangement might have been a little off.
No.
Or even the appliances, the bigger appliances itself, like the washing machine or whatever.
I think those might have been all right. Those might have been all right. I don't remember.
Take that out. I don't want that. Or maybe the size of, because you remember the refrigerator was small. It was very small. And the stove even was like a real like.
I can't remember this. I can't remember that part.
It was one of them.
I was just turned off by the whole experience and going up in there. But anyway, to each his own.
It wasn't bad. Mileage. That was good.
Yeah. I mean, but not for that price.
Not for the price. If you're comparing it from to outside.
So what was the whole experience? First of all, it's a compound. Mm-hmm. You drive in there. That's a good thing. So it's secure.
It's a gated community. Yeah.
And then you go into. They have a main building that you go in, and then inside this main building, you find like the real estate offices. Right. So.
It's really one big office, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a big old office. But I mean, like everybody had their little
and it was real organized though. You saw you take your number.
It was nice. I mean, the service was good. Like you can't complain about the service there. Like the service is going to be good, mashallah. So, but as far as the quality of the apartment based on how much you're spending, I don't know. I can't vouch for that. Like if you plan on going to Qatar,
just be prepared.
You're gonna have to. It depends on where you come from, what your standards are. But in my personal opinion, for the prices that they offered, and that was the cheapest prices. That's what they said. This is the cheapest that you're gonna get, and so
but these are furnished. These are furnished apartments, and most of the furniture is new. Even if you say that, okay, some of it's raggedy or whatever, or I would say an older model or something like that, but the furniture itself was new.
Yeah, the furniture is new.
But let's talk about what goes with it, because you do have the maintenance of the ACs. They all came with ACs. That's very important. It's real hot,
Right.
to a degree. The heat wasn't extreme in my opinion. No, I haven't been there in the summer, so I can speak. But anyway, the point is that they have the ACs, the maintenance of the ACs, and anything in the apartment, so door handles, all that small stuff. Right. They take care of that. Right. You don't have to pay. And then there's also the utilities that they said that they take care of as well.
So they had a soccer field for those into soccer.
Right.
They had a swimming pool.
And this is the cheapest.
Right. This is a cheap compound.
It was nice.
The maintenance was included, like my son mentioned. The electric and water for one bedroom, the average is about 150 rial a month, which is $41 a month. The fiber internet, that's the high-speed internet, is 300 rials a month, which equals out to about $83. And then they use something that I think many of us are not used to coming from the West, and that's the gas bottle. Canister called an ambuba. And the ambuba is nothing. Like, it costs money, but it's not even worth mentioning. It's cheap. Appliances, while many houses are furnished, you can find appliances for sale. And in Qatar, the electronics and the appliances like that are cheaper than other places because it's not as many taxes that people have to pay in order to bring them into the country. So we did look around at the prices of the different main appliances like refrigerators, stoves, washers, and we found that in some cases they're cheaper than even Egypt.
Yeah, for sure.
So we did look at that, but I think in most cases, the people that move there, you probably would find furnished apartments, but you can insist on having a unfurnished one and furnish everything yourself.
Right.
So that pretty much covers, like, what you've just seen is what those apartments look like. And while I might say I wasn't impressed,
I wasn't impressed either, but I wasn't turned down.
But that matters. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you have your own opinion. It's not like across the board.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know about the big family. You got to worry because they also mentioned, that we'll get into later, the school fees that are very expensive.
Oh yeah, that's different. Yeah,
but I mean, a big
right
family
now
in an apartment like that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
Right now, we're just talking about apartments. So it's known. Everybody says it. The rents in Qatar are really high.
Yeah.
Compared to other countries. I think they're less than it would be in the States for what you get. But at the same time, like, for this part of the world, they're pretty expensive. Thinking of making Hijrah, but not sure where to start? Wondering which Muslim country aligns best with your values, your family, your future? Well, look no further. At Make Hijrah, we're here to guide you every step of the way, helping you avoid the frustration, the overwhelming research, and the trial and error that can come with planning a move alone. Our advisors have spent over 20 plus years living in the Muslim world with experience across more than 11 countries. With a 1-hour consultation, you'll receive expert insights tailored to your unique needs. We'll help you to craft a clear Hijrah strategy so you can avoid unnecessary costs and countless hours of solo research. Your journey doesn't have to be overwhelming. Let's make your dream a reality together.
As we checked out different areas, right, we noticed that you did have the hypermarkets all around. They were scattered around, but they were in their own, whether if it's right outside the compound. I don't remember seeing any inside, but you did have Lulu Hypermarket, which seems to be popular there.
That's a famous supermarket, by the way.
Yeah, you find it.
Many of us are not familiar with, but if you live in the Middle East, then you're familiar with Lulu.
Right. So you had Lulu, and in Lulu you could pretty much find whatever you're looking for, really.
Yeah. Grocery, it'd be like Walmart or Carrefour if somebody's familiar with that.
Yeah, so they had so they had everything there. I mean, you had your Staples and all that. You also have malls nearby these neighborhoods.
Right.
Smaller malls.
But before you go into the malls, we created a list of staples, like
Right.
Rice, flour, bread, pasta, and on. We created a list and we give the prices in dollars and reals. So inshallah, just check the description to get the link to that food comparison
PDF,
chart,
right?
the PDF.
So we checked out the mall where they had these small appliances. This was a smaller mall. So you did have, if I'm not mistaken, you did have some activities on the ground floor, but it's nothing compared to what we saw in one of the malls. It's called Villaggio Mall. This one actually blew my mind because I never seen anything like it. And I've been to the mall at the time, the Dubai Mall, where Burj Khalifa was. Yeah, so you had that huge mall. But in terms of design and architecture, it wasn't nothing really that special. But this one here, it blew my mind. So you have, as you walk in, we went in during the nighttime. So as we walked in, there was this huge sky that was built in. It was crazy because you wouldn't really notice it's nighttime until you start seeing the shops closed and whatnot. Right. But in that mall, you have pretty much everything. I mean, mashallah, you had even the Islamic stores where they're selling the oud, the oils and whatnot, to the designer clothing stores and brands and all of that. And then you have the food court area, but it was next to a ski. Was it like a ski?
That's like an ice rink for ice skating.
It was ice skating. Yeah, I think it was ice skating. But mashallah, that joint.
Yeah, the whole concept basically is like an outdoor,
indoor. What is it?
Like an outdoor village looking thing.
Yeah,
but it's inside.
It's inside.
The ceiling is sky, and then the stores are like little shops, like
buildings.
On the street.
Actually, it's like buildings. Yeah,
like
on the
buildings
street.
On the street with windows and stuff, like on the upper floors and stuff like that. Like it's. Like it's a building or something.
Italy
like that.
Or something. It was something strange like that.
Like Italy or something.
And it had a river going across it.
And it had that stream.
It had a river. You could take boat rides.
And you could take boat rides in there.
Yeah, it was
and then it had
unique.
Bridges going over that.
Yeah, bridges.
So it was,
It was unique for sure. I never seen
it. It was really nice. That's really something nice for the family. It was family oriented. So you saw people with their wives and children there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a teenager mall or something like that with a bunch of wild teenagers or something in there.
No.
So
mashallah, was nice. Even on the way there, I think it was next to the stadium.
Right.
It was next to the stadium. You had the Cheesecake Factory. I think that was on the outside.
Oh,
I'm not sure. But they have all types of stuff in there. Mashallah, that one really blew my mind.
Yeah, and we went to a couple other malls. Those were more all the malls are nice.
Yeah, really nice.
But
really
then you had the standout malls, like the ones that are somebody really thought about it.
Right.
So that's, I mean, mashallah, that's good. And then I want to add to that you have the famous souk, like the old souk of Waqf.
Oh, souk Waqf, yeah.
Yeah, it represents an old souk. That this used to be the old souk, and then they just kept it like that, like.
Yeah, they just maintained it, but
so
they
it
kept
looked old.
Yeah, it has an older
but
look.
Then they painted it or whatever to make it look clean. But it's basically how the old souk was. So you have things like that you could take your family out to.
And they have stuff there. Like if you noticed, you remember they had the little enclosure for the ponies.
Yeah,
and they have pony rides
and
going
the camels,
through the camels, the horses too. And then you have the masjid, the famous masjid there as well.
Right, I think it's called Fanoon Masjid.
Yeah. But everything, mashallah, everything was right there. They had like a ship container. This was on the coast, but it was like restaurants made out of containers. Shipping containers. It was
They have
different.
a lot.
They have all types of stuff.
We didn't even really mention like the stadiums.
Oh, the stadiums is crazy.
It's a bunch of stadiums. Like stadium the shape of a kufi.
Yeah,
stadiums of different weird shapes, but they're nice. Mashallah, they have a lot of stuff because that's one thing Qatar's known for is the sports.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of stadiums, a lot of activities like that as well.
Yeah.
We had the chance to go to a park called Bidar Park.
It's not Bidar Park. I think it's
It's Bid'ah.
Bid'ah Park. It was
No,
Bid'ah?
it's Bid'ah.
It was Bid'ah, was it?
No, it's Bid'ah. But Bid'ah is not. That's.
I don't remember. I thought it was different.
But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, it was a nice park. It had the area for the children to play, like the slides and the swings and all that stuff. And then it also had a track to go around, like a really nice track. It had the nature there and this type of thing.
They had the bike lanes, and then they also had the track.
Yeah.
And then they had the masjid there. They had a lot of cameras. I noticed that as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just for protection or something like that.
Maybe for the children or something.
You know, but that was just the one we were able to see. So there's a lot of activities in the Doha is kind of small, but there's a lot of activities there.
But they mentioned they mentioned that there's a lot of activities going up north as well, right? A lot of people mentioned that, like they had the water parks and all that stuff up there, right? And the beaches and so on.
So I mean, it's really family oriented, and because I guess this is an important point because you kind of take that for granted. If you're used to that, like if wherever you're from, you have those type of activities normally.
Right.
But in some countries, like for example in Egypt, most of the stuff you got to pay for. Like you're not gonna just walk into the park. It doesn't really work like that. The park is gated off, and you have to pay to enter. So that's a majority of. And then if you live in some areas that have grassy areas, it's really aesthetically like that.
Yeah, they don't really want you on the
They don't
grass.
really want you walking on the grass like that. But I mean, some people get away with it. I mean, some children get to do that. Right. But generally speaking, like it's just an open park.
Right.
Like you're not paying for nothing. You just go in there and use the park. What if I can give you over 22 years of Hijrah knowledge in just a few hours? Well, with the Hijrah Handbook, I've attempted to do just that. This book holds the same systems I've used to stay and raise my family in the Muslim world for the past 22 years. Once you've read this, you'll be equipped with the same tools I use to sustain myself financially, develop strong expat communities, and obtain residency in over 4 Muslim countries. This knowledge has already helped many Muslims have thriving lives abroad, and inshallah, it can help you do the same. So don't wait. Visit book.makehijrah.com to get your copy now. So we plan on making an itinerary for Qatar for download, and that's so if someone wants to do a fact-finding mission, we can give you some ideas on what to do and what to look at. And I think that's very important because it's one thing to tell somebody, check out this, and then they say, okay, well, what I do when I get out the airport or what happens, Right. So our itinerary it tells you, okay, get to the country, here's what to expect, get out of the airport, go here, and it gives you some
suggestions, a whole guide.
Some suggestions, really. It gives you some suggestions on what to do and what to look for. And I think, inshallah, that'll be really helpful. And again, you can check the description for the link to that.
Inshallah.
And lastly,
what is it?
We disagree about the heat, but
this is at the time that
that's
was
right hot.
It was
but
it was good. I think it was fall, wasn't it?
It was it's going into winter now.
Going into winter, right? Yeah.
So the winter, I was just there. Actually, I just came back.
Yeah, right.
I just came back at the time of this recording.
It's still hot.
And no, it wasn't hot though. It was moving into winter now. So it was bearable.
Dang.
It was bearable. And I had a sweater. I had this sweater. I didn't even change clothes yet. So I had the sweater on. And it was bearable. So that's just a idea of the weather. Generally, it's hot in the summer and almost the whole year.
He did.
But then when the winter comes, it kind of eases up. But it's still.
He said it's hot majority.
It's not no winters like what people might be used to with snow and all that stuff.
No.
It's not that. So if you want to know our first impressions of Qatar, check out the first video that we did. Our first day or two in Qatar, check out that video. If you like these videos, let us know, because we do have information on other countries that we visited on that trip. And we have a few other future trips planned. And we would like to go over them in this format and give you some ideas on what to expect if you decide to make a fact-finding mission